Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. Thank you for not getting irritated with me the other time you were here. Anyways, welcome you guys. I just want to take a moment for a quick reminder. For those who are part of the Whole Being Wellness Workshop, I didn't realize that my hair is. Anyways, I did not realize that I hadn't sent out the email, so I've gone ahead and done that. So y'all know when the new date for the Whole Being Wellness Workshop is. In addition, another announcement. If you would like to join me for the Abundance Amplifier meditation that I'm holding on 8/5, the 5th of August, please visit emmyevolving.com/abundance-amplifier-event. This is a private, exclusive guided meditation where I'm going to help you to dilate the pathways. We're really going to be taking some very, very preemptive steps to help you harness that 8/8 portal energy. And it's an amazing energy to use to call in abundance and just, do a little thing, make a little love, get down tonight. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, I gotta share this, even at the risk of them even at the risk of them accidentally watching this and hearing me say this. You guys have seen my cousin, right? Oh, wait, here. You guys have oh, I know that was a long time ago. That was such a long time ago. That was years ago. Anyways, I have this cousin who is hilarious. I always be cracking up. And then I have this other cousin. Okay, hold on. The three of us were on the phone last night, right? I'm sorry, Joe. So the three of us, we were on a party line last night. And we were chatting about stuff. And some certain topics came up. And so I got some intuitive hits, right? And I don't really talk to them about the work that I do, but I got these intuitive hits. So I start asking my questions and I'm like, hey, do you happen to have a picture? Because I wanted to know if the intuitive hits that I was getting was accurate. Stop. I'm not being extra. I was being nosy, but not extra nosy, excessively nosy. So they sent me a picture. And right when I asked, like, do you have a picture? My nutty cousin she got real quiet and she goes, is this a reading? Like, no, I'm not giving you a reading. She wants me to bring her on the live stream, but her sarcasm is so dry that you guys might get dehydrated. She's hilarious. You'd love her. So I'm almost ready. Don't worry. Okay. I was rushing. I had a whole bunch of stuff that I had to rush to do before I could go live. So all right. I'm not even gonna fight it. I'm not gonna fight nothing. I'm in a really jovial mood today. I'm in a really jovial mood. It's amazing. Fabulous. It's fabulous. Okay. So, to my two cousins, if you two watch this for some reason, I woke up smiling because of you. All right, let's get started for real. I asked what this reading was going to be about, and what I heard is you are fucking unstoppable, Boocakes. Originally, I heard you are unstoppable, Boocakes. And then as I prepared to actually go live, there was an increase. So I had to adjust the title and include the word fucking because it's intense. It's amazing. All right, here goes. Ooh, 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 ooh. All right, there's lots of stuff happening here. Lots of stuff. Ooh, a lot of attempts. Lots of attempts to really just, it's a usurper. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you could tell by the way my lip curled. It's a usurper. What that means is this is a person who has continued to try and usurp, dominate, override your I'm sorry. The He needs an exorcism. He don't need a surgeon. He needs an exorcism. Anyways, I'm sorry. I promise I'm not gonna look at the phone anymore. So, um, I don't even remember what I was saying. I just, mm. Oh, a usurper. So there's someone who's been a usurper, right? And they've totally just been trying to override your sovereignty, your right to decide things for yourself. They've been really, really trying their best to hide the frustration. Good. They should be frustrated. Their frustration, their anger about all of these ways in which their control, their influence over you is being eroded. It's being eroded. Good. No one should be able to control you in that way. Right. So this is someone who's like super toxic, super yuck. They can just stay in the yuck box. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you think of them, don't go any further than the simple thought of yuck or ew, ew. Okay. That's all you got to do. Ew. And then keep it moving. Their negative influence on you cannot be allowed to continue because they trying real hard. It's this thing of you banish them, right? You push them out and you push them out already. Like you've successfully done this. The emotions that you would have felt, the ways in which you would have stumbled, the blockages that would have formed, is just not happening anymore. Boo, you're unstoppable for real. You're unstoppable. And you're just going to keep going. They don't like that though. And it's almost this thing of like, you have it in yourself to just be chill and not like not need to uh, and not need to not need to like have conflict with them. You could just be civil, cordial. And it's like that's not enough for them because to do that makes them feel like they need to take responsibility, accountability for their actions, which they do. They need to have that. They need to be responsible, held responsible for the ways in which, like, they're messing up for real. They're just so hella messing up, and you're over here shining, and because you shine, you're casting a light on their deficiencies, their failures. That's not your fault. If they don't want to see the ways in which they're messing up, they just got to steer clear of you, because you shine bright like a diamond. You shine bright. And if they're going to continue to if they're going to continue to try and access you and be available, and have you be available, I mean, um, to their games, I mean, what's going to end up happening is they're going to frustrate themselves more. For the person who needs to hear this, are you listening? I'm even stretching out my dopey ass ear to give you a visual of what you need to do. You need to listen. Okay? Maybe your ears are small. I don't know. Mine are big, so I hear very well. But this is a person who they're just projecting everything. I'm done with them. I'm done with them. They're mad disrespectful. They are not somehow your guardian. Well, whatever storyline they're telling themselves to justify their behaviors and treatment of you, like they're saying these things to you. They're trying to gaslight you. Yeah, no. I mean, I don't know. I would totally be like, listen, I don't know if you have to brush your teeth or you ate something horrible, but like everything that comes out of your mouth stinks like shit. I would absolutely say that. I'm saying. And then I might even take it a couple steps further and be like, you know what? We'll get rid of that stench. You know what it is? Verbal toothbrushing. You know how you do that? Or spiritual toothbrushing. You know how you do that? You say, I'm sorry. You apologize. This is a person who's never going to apologize. That's why I'm done with them in this context, right? You probably, if that portion is going to apply to you, you already know who this is. You know what they've done. They've got you to question yourself. They've gotten you to a point where you're just like exasperated, throwing up your hands and just like, I don't know what else to do, but you just suck as a person. So I'm done. Good. Very, very, very good. It's good to be done. So when you're done, you're going to then enter into a space of healer, where you're going to be given the opportunity to actively begin healing yourself. Now, for some of us, we don't realize that we need to heal. That's okay. Your soul will make you heal anyways. Your soul is just going to be like, no, boo. You need to do this. You need to face this. It's uncomfortable. It's something that is just um, beyond the realm of what you want to deal with. But I mean, a little stretching is not going to hurt you, right? You're being stretched. And this stretching that's occurring is something that's helping you to enter into a space of flexible strength. You don't want to be rigid and strong, because that affects your tensile strength, right? The point at which you will break. So, as you begin that healing portion, your period of incubation is going to be done. Like, you're not going to be allowed to hide. You're not going to be allowed to continue to remain in these really tucked away spaces within yourself. You're going to do perfectly fine. It's disconcerting at first. Yes, I get it. But it's something that definitely needs to happen. Okay. Hold on. I need to see the other meanings because I don't have any of these cards memorized. Let's see. Oh, here. All right. Stagnation, slow changes, partial change, inertia, narrowly avoiding a serious accident. So it's the death card in reverse, right? Stagnation, slow changes, partial change, inertia, narrowly avoiding a serious accident. I think the reason that you're changing, or your rate of change is being slowed down, is so that you could avoid an accident, which is either um doing things or agreeing to things, participating in things that are not beneficial, things that will cause you to circle back around and repeat a cycle. Or maybe it's trying to encourage you to see beyond the trauma and really commit to a cycle that will bolster your ability to heal from whatever you just went through. I think for whoever this is going to apply to, you've been through something very seriously intense. Okay. It didn't break you, but it sure as hell felt like it did. Perception is one hell of a mofo. You know what I'm saying? Perception is one hell of a mofo because oftentimes, what we perceive to be the reality, factuality, all of that, it's not. It's not. It's very much peppered with distortions in our view of ourselves and our proper place in the world and all of these different things, right? How many of you have been in a relationship where you've just tried really, really hard? Okay. How many of you have been in a relationship where you've tried really, really hard to do everything you possibly could to appease the person that you are with? But no matter how hard you try, how much effort you put into it, it's never enough. You're always doing the wrong thing. You're always this, you're always that, made to feel like you're the problem. Um, but are you the problem? Probably not. I mean, for the most part, people who are drawn to me and watch me, they are well into a space of taking accountability for themselves. They are well into this space of really just, you know, looking at how things have played out in life and seeing the ways in which they um have really contributed to their suffering, to their stagnation, to whatever it is that they're very disappointed with, very upset by, whatever they're feeling betrayed by, right? It's the people who just really cannot take accountability. There are people in this world that either are unwilling, right? Or incapable. The ones who are unwilling to take accountability have a tendency to be one of two things. Either they're just a full on NPC, organic, portal, soulless, mofo, and demon whore, or they are so run by fear that if they take accountability for their actions, for their chosen words and behaviors, then people are going to know how they are and who they actually are. Yeah, people are going to know. I hate to break it to you, boo, but people already know. They already know, you know what I mean? Just because they don't say anything doesn't mean they don't know. It's hard to hide who you actually are. You have to be on another level of manipulator to do that. Seriously. Like for all of you empaths, all my beautiful people in this community, you think you're hiding how sensitive and beautiful your heart is, when in actuality, you're not. You're not. It is what it is. People see it. They sometimes will see it and be appreciative and they will feel the need to protect you. And sometimes they'll see it and they'll be like, "Ooh, this one, I can take advantage of this one." They can't anymore. You're entering into a space where you're no longer willing to allow anyone to take advantage of you. And I celebrate that. I applaud you for that. That was a very, very difficult process you went through to get to the point you're at right now, to reach this conclusion, the ending of that chapter conclusion, and conclusion, um, the thoughts that you have, reaching conclusions about something. It's time for you to choose yourself. It really is. It really is. And those who struggle with choosing themselves. Do you want me to tell you what that means? That means you are such a beautiful, loving, giving, soft, and sacred sanctuary for so many people. And you do this so much, so consistently, and so wholeheartedly that you fail to realize the gravity of what you're doing, right? You think it's just commonplace. You think, well, I mean, it's just the right thing to do. Doesn't everyone do this? No. I used to think those things, right? Like if I see someone suffering and they need help, yes, I want to help you. You don't even have to ask me. If my heart is drawn to you, I'm going to help you. I'm going to offer. I'm going to insist. And I used to think that that's just how people are. It's not. Some people are like that, but not all. Most, Michael says, I need to correct myself. Most are not like that. Most will not go out of their way to help other people. That's okay. I'm going to hold space for my hope and my faith that they will transcend that limited empathic space they exist in and rise to the true potential of their ability to love others and help heal, right? I'm going to just hold space for that to exist. We don't need to change other people. What we do need to do is accept the fact that other people should not be able or allowed to change us. You are fucking unstoppable, Boocakes. You're unstoppable. These lessons that you're learning during this period, it seeks to empower you. I know it feels painful and it feels difficult. It's designed to empower you. It's not designed to empower you by simply merely breaking you down, right? Because that's what it feels like. It feels like you're approaching some type of breakdown, like a period or cycle of being broken down, being destroyed. No. This period serves to break you open so that more of your light, more of your truth, more of your most authentic parts can come forward and be witnessed, be experienced, be part of someone else's process of writing their survival manual for life. And it's my hope that if people get comfortable with their survival manual, at some point they'll exit out of the space of merely trying to survive and enter into a space of actual, true, authentic, genuine thriving, right? Boundaries and awareness of what to do when someone crosses your boundaries, someone's intentions are crucial right now. Okay. For some of you, and you're going to have to use your discernment to figure out if you're part of this group. For some of you, as someone in your life, stranger, family, someone you have a relationship with, someone you're an ex, whatever it is, as someone in your life begins to exhibit symptoms or signs of having an intention to cross your boundaries, you're going to need to know what to do. You're going to need to be aware of this and do something about it, right? For others of you, you're going to need to really see the way the boundaries that you've created for yourself are nothing more than an imaginary cage that you think you can live in with the assumption that you're safe in there, no one can see you. Baby, imagining a cage is not the same as constructing one. Those are two different things, right? You're only safe when you take the necessary steps to ensure your safety, emotional safety, intellectual, mental, physical, all of that, right? All of that. So, focus on the light, but it's in reverse. It's this sense of I guess I can frame it as you being at risk of being consumed by the shadows that are coming forward. And these shadows are not indicative of some type of demonic presence that's trying to gobble you up. These shadows are the parts of you that have hidden very, very safely for much of your life. The truth of your power, your authenticity, the beautiful ways you were designed by God, right? So this is not something to be afraid of, but if you're going to just be afraid, you need to do something that will help to reassure you that this is a normal natural process that you're in. Yes, it's very difficult and challenging, but again, it is for your benefit at the end of the day. What you want wants you. What you want wants you. What do you want? I've asked you guys this so many times. What do you want? Do you want to reach that next part? Do you want to heal? Do you want to get to a place where um, you can feel how much you've learned about yourself, and these things that you've learned, they help to further define and refine your understanding of just how unstoppable you are. Oh, all right. Shots fired. um Angel shots have been fired. Angel shots are fired. Okay. Oh shit. I forgot. What did you say? Damn. Oh man. Michael cracked me up. I don't what was I talking about? Can you guys please remind me what I had just said? I can't rewind the live stream. Hold on. Let me see. Um Wait, I don't know. Y'all, I don't remember what I said. And I just confused myself more. Freaking Michael. I don't remember. My bad. I'm sorry I got distracted because he asked a question that he wanted me to repeat. He never likes to repeat himself. So, anyways, he asked a question and I got distracted because he started to laugh at me. Okay. You don't need to play that sacred fool. You really, really don't. You don't need to volunteer to play the fool for whoever this is that is being used by your soul to teach you something about yourself, to teach you something about your power. You got to make sure that the things that you are allowing yourself to take in as truth, you got to make sure that it's actually truth. Because if you don't, I mean, it's not really the best idea. It's just not really the best idea. Okay. So conscious connections in reverse. Currently, I would assume because of this card makes me assume that you're currently in an environment, like immersed in a space where people are just so averse to allowing you to be who you are. These are people who enjoy controlling you covertly or outright. They really enjoy controlling you. They enjoy being able to affect the way you see yourself, which then affects your actions and gives them the opportunity to continue doing whatever it is they're doing that's so detrimental to you. You got to disconnect from that. You just do. You have to disconnect from that. You have to trust yourself. Not only do you have to trust yourself, you have to allow yourself to see the true you. Sometimes when we allow ourselves to look in the stillness of our darkness, because it's a dark surface, it has a capacity to reflect. And because there's stillness, no movement means no distortions in the way you see yourself. This is about recognition, coming from deep within, really recognizing who you are, recognizing how amazing you are, how gifted you are, how loved and supported you are. For many people who are the most nicest, most loving, most supportive people, y'all won't even let anyone help you. You won't even let people know what's happening. I get it because I'm like that too, but it's never served me. It's never been something that has helped me to go further down the road in my self-healing. It's definitely been something that oftentimes becomes a way for my soul to further amplify and expand this lesson that's in the process of being further elevated. So it's all the different layers and levels of really making sure that you're going above and beyond the learning that you need to do right now, right? Power of attraction. So typically, this card indicates like twin flame stuff. We're just not going to do that today. We're not. Nothing wrong with the topic. I'm just saying, well, no, there's a lot wrong with the topic. Nothing wrong with twins, but a lot wrong with the topic and how it's caused people to act. But we're just going to steer clear of that for today, at least for right now. The real question is here, power of attraction. What type of things have you been attracting to yourself? Have you noticed during this period that you're attracting warm, kind-hearted people who insist on helping you? They just want to help. It's not going to be held over your head. Um, People who can see past your trauma, people who can see past this powerful caricature of you that you play, right? Where you don't really show them your power. What you're showing them is this um, very intense act of just, it's an act. It's an act. I've done this a long time too. Don't worry. It's not some type of criticism of you. It's trying to bring your attention to some of the ways in which you function through the different types of situations that you live through. So, for example, when things get really, really difficult for me, that's when I have a tendency, less now, but it still happens here and there. That's when I have a tendency to really, really play this role of put together, highly intelligent, highly aware, just super balanced and centered, and just but in reality, I feel so far removed from that. I don't feel that at all, right? For a couple years, I was going through some really, really hard stuff. Hard lessons, hard cycles and all of that. It's fine. We did more than survive. We thrived. But in those years that I was struggling, when things were okay and manageable, I would have absolutely no makeup on. My hair would not be brushed. I would be live streaming in my jammies and just being ridiculously jovial and I guess entertaining according to people, right? And super helpful, total martyrdom stuff. Um, while deep inside, I was super struggling. Yeah, because the whole time I was struggling. And then on days where the struggle was more than what I could deal with, um, it would be this thing of showing up with double stacked lashes, done up, super cute. I let my hair do this curl thing because that's actually my texture. And um and then I would allow myself to very, very carefully, very, very carefully initiate conversation, symposium on things that I knew would get people really just enthralled, fascinated by the subject matter. Because if they become fascinated by the subject matter that I'm bringing up, they'll be too busy and preoccupied with like the oohs and the ahs of like, oh my gosh, what does that mean? To notice the liquid sadness that would swirl in my pupils. I know, it's crazy, right? It's crazy that I'm admitting that. And so people would either be distracted by the way in which I've dolled myself up, and they're not really looking anything past that, or they would be distracted by the subject matter that I'm dang-a-langing in front of them like a carrot. And they would be focused on that, so they wouldn't have an opportunity to notice, like, ooh, Emmy feels really dense today. Emmy feels fractured. Maybe we should ask how she's doing, because if anyone asked me while I was in that state how I am doing, it probably would not have ended good. Not me like lashing out at the person, but it probably would have initiated, triggered uncontrollable sobbing, right? So I know for many of us, especially in this community, we do that. We hide so much of what we're going through. And it's really time to stop. 86% at 5:55, 37, 25, 40. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So 86, 555. What does that mean? 86, 555. I don't really know the significance of the number 86, but it feels significant to me. It really, really does. I don't know. I've always had a fixation with that number. It's not my favorite number, but I've had a fixation with it. 8 is the number of reunification. 6 is the number of receiving, which then leads to 14, which 1 plus 4 is 5. So it's 5, 5, 5, 5. So the 86 is being changed, elevated change. You want to know something? It was just the weirdest thing. I don't know why Michael brings this to my, this memory pops up in my head. So many years ago, I want to say like early to mid 2000s, something like that. I want to say before 2010. I don't know. Somewhere there. Um, my sibling, my oldest brother and I, we were chatting, and he was bringing up like the house that we grew up in. And there was a room that he had used as his room at one point, and then at another point it became my bedroom, and then at yet another point, like my family moved out and then he took over the house, and then at yet another point, because we had this house for so long, right? And then at yet another point he had moved to another house, and then I moved in, and I took over that house. And he was talking about how we should have never sold it. We should have never sold that house, because it was like, it's our family house, is where we grew up. And he was like, there's so many memories there. Like, and he said in his closet, he wrote his initials, JG, in 1986. And I'm like, no, you didn't. 88% at 558, 88558. I was like, no, you didn't. And he goes, I did. And I was like, fool, I wrote that. I wrote that. I wrote JG 86 when I was like 16, 15, 16 years old. But he really was convinced that it was him. So it's a number that's kind of like stuck with me for for a long time. I used to think that it was because in 1986 we went to Vancouver, right, Louise? I think I want to say that I used to convince myself that it was because in 1986 we went to Vancouver and I was like in second or third grade or something like that. I was in elementary school and I loved it. The number 86 always sticks out. So yeah, he was totally just like, well, you know what I'm talking about. I'm like, yeah, but I wrote that. I don't know why Michael brings that up, but the number 86, it leads to 5. When you allow the convergence to occur, it helps you to receive, right? So it's like the Pisces Vesica. There. There's the Vesica right here. Right here. This is the Vesica. And it's like two separate entities. Excuse me, two separate consciousness coming together. And as they converge, a third space is allowed to exist. And that's the space where your wisdom and your wisdom is allowed to commingle to create a greater, higher level of wisdom for both to reap the benefits of, right? And then you add in all of that change that's occurring. You're legit unstoppable. You got to stop playing these games with yourself where you're convincing yourself. I don't know what you're convincing yourself, but it's not good. It's creating limitations for you that don't need to exist, you know? I remember drawing on my walls too, and I took over the house I grew up in. Oh, you too, Sochi. Yeah, I don't know. I'm weird. I I'm so ridiculously sentimental. It's the Piscean side of me. It has to be the Piscean side of me. Like my husband. So we move a lot, all right? We move a lot. And he was absolutely pointing out the other day that in not so in a different way. He was using different words, but to sum it up, he was like, "You're a klepto." You're a klepto. I I mean, a little bit. A little bit, but he was like and of course I got offended and I was like, "What do you mean by that?" And he goes, "You always gotta take something with you every house we've lived in." I'm like, "Well, tell me what? What? Tell me. Tell me. Give me examples." Right? Because I was like in my bratty stage. And he was like, "Okay, well, I don't know what I brought with us from the last house." I don't know if it was like a trash can. Oh, no, it wasn't a trash can because that was like from 3 years ago. One house, I brought the kitchen trash can. Another house, I brought the freestanding toilet paper holder. Um, I mean, I don't know. Another house, they had left a plant. And I went ahead and I cloned it multiple times while we were there and made it into a bushy ass plant. Um, it's just, things like that. And my logic is it's a rental property. It's a rental property. Okay. I'm not defacing the property. I am simply removing the trash that the previous tenant had left, that the leasing office did not throw away before we occupied it. So the houses we live in are always super duper clean, like we never existed in there, like literally. Right? I'll have the carpets cleaned, all the walls are pretty much wiped down, like no fingerprints anywhere. And I won't leave any of our personal belongings there. You never have to worry about that. But any personal hey, you know what? My husband should just know. He should just know and be grateful that one of the houses where someone left a treadmill, that I didn't take the treadmill. That treadmill was very unwanted, okay? No one wanted it. That's why it was left there. And I didn't take it with us. So he should just be glad. That's a very good point. I'm going to tell him that next time he gets it in his head to assert that his wife is slightly klepto. Okay. And then he points out that every single wildlife place that we go to, I have to take something home with me. Because I was like, hey, later you're going to have to stop the car so I can get a stick for baby, for our youngest. He likes sticks, meaning branches. So I told my husband the other day, I want to be in the mountains. I want to be in the mountains. I want to be in a forest. And so he took me. He took me, right? And like I said, he accuses me of always taking something home with me when he takes me to these wild places. Okay, did I go home with these two? Did I get to go home with these two? No, I didn't. He could have stopped the car and got me the smaller one. But I'm pretty sure the bigger one would have fought him. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And then I was telling him that he's going to have to pull over and, we're going to have to like harvest some of the flora for like apothecary purposes. And there were so many rangers. And he's like, I'm not stopping no fucking car. But I need them for the 8-8 portal. And he goes, no, nope, I'm not stopping nothing. He refused. And then I think it was his plan. I didn't know how high the mother freaking summit of this mountain was or is. He took me all the way to the summit, the very, very tippy top of the mountain. Did I tell you guys that I have altitude sensitivity? I get sick with altitude. The higher you take me, the harder it is for me. Motherfucker, I was taken to over 14,000 feet. Over 14,000 feet above sea level. He just kept going. And he's like, I think it's getting too high. I'm kind of not feeling good. And I was like, I'm still fine. Because I was so focused on like, I'm going to look for a good area where I'm going to be like, I want to take pictures, but I'm not really going to take pictures at that turn off. I'm going to start harvesting flora. I was focused on that. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was like, I think we're over 12,000 feet. I could safely do while just sitting in a car around 11,000, 11,500, 12,000. You're kind of starting to push it. If I stay still, it's fine. Anything over 12,000, even if I'm just sitting still, thinking about life and flowers, I'm gonna start to get fucked up. If you keep me in that environment too long, I'm gonna start to get fucked up. And then he just kept going. And when we got to the top, I was like, no, turn around. I didn't even get out of the car. Turn around. We need to go down. We need to go down. We need to drive down. And so we drove down. And then later, after we had left, I Googled it. I don't know where he took me, but it was a mountain. And I Googled it. He gave me the name of it, which I don't remember. And it was over 14,000 feet high. Mind you, I live on a mountain. I live in an elevated, like thousands of feet above sea level. This shit was so high. I started to quietly panic inside myself. I'm like, fuck. It's gonna take us 30 minutes to get off of this mountain to call 911. We have no cellular reception. So I just needed to stay calm. I'm good in Denver. I'm good. Have you ever heard of Montrose, Colorado? I think it's like 10,000 feet above sea level. I'm good in like Telluride. I'm not good in Peru. um, Cusco, Peru almost killed my ass. And I thought I was doing better because I went lower in elevation to Machu Picchu, and I was all hiking up a storm there with like a 50 fucking pound backpack on me. I didn't want to leave my electronics in the hotel room. And so that was interesting. And then the next day we went to Rainbow Mountain, which is something like 14,000 feet above sea level. I don't know if it was a Rainbow Mountain or not because my ass sat in the car. Sprinkling Florida water, Florida water, Florida agua, agua de Florida. In my head, that's what the that's what our private our private tour guide was like. I just needed some agua de Florida, and then that's what he said to do. It's like, okay. And you know, I fucking almost died on Rainbow Mountain. I didn't go down. And here's the thing, right? There was like a Sprinter van that was parked kind of beside us. And the tourists from that group, they opened the sliding door and they got out. And I saw underneath the second row was a small oxygen tank. When I say I'm about survival, I'm not fucking around. I saw that and I was like, okay, that's insurance. God got me. God's got me. So they all left. I think it's like a 30-minute hike to the pinnacle of the mountain. And they all left. They clearly locked the door. They all left. And after maybe like 30 minutes or so, I was like, you know what? I ain't no punk bitch. I'm going to get out the car. I'm going to just really like biohack myself and just be like, I got this. And I'm going to hike to that point and I'm going to see the fucking Rainbow Mountain because I paid to see this Rainbow Mountain. And as soon as I got out of the car and I was standing, I was like, I'm not going to see the mountain because everything started to turn black. And my first thought was, you got to find a rock. You got to find a rock to break the window to get the oxygen tank. And then you'll just pay them back when they get back. Sometimes my brain is more powerful than the reality of my body. Because as I tried to take a step, I was serious about it too. I was so serious about finding like a hand sized palm stone to break the window and borrow some of their oxygen. I'm like, it's okay. I'll give them my credit card. I will pay for their broken window. Like, I just don't want to die. No, the best I could do was very hurriedly turn around, get back in the car, and fall into the seat before I passed out. And then I was just like, Michael, is this how I'm gonna die? I'm gonna die like this. Is that because of your energy that you can't go to high altitudes? It's because aliens don't do that kind of shit. I don't know. It's probably because I'm a tropical person. I was born sea level. My genetics are like, oh, you on the wrong region. You belong by the ocean. And I'm just like, no, I need to be landlocked on a mountain. Yeah, no, it was too much. It was just too much. When I tell you guys I've been through shit in life, I have. See what I'm saying? I can laugh about it now. Oh, and our tour guide and my travel buddy got back to the car. They're like, how are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm still breathing. I almost died. I was gonna break into their car to get the oxygen tank. My guide was laughing. He thought I was fucking joking. I was like, uh, oh no, I'm serious. And then he asked me if I needed more agua de Florida. It was like, can you just fucking get us off the mountain? can, can you just drive down so that I don't die up here? Because it took you about an hour to get up here. And I don't know if you're gonna call me any 911 type thing. And I don't want to die here. I have a lot of kids. They're expecting me to come back home alive. And he's like, oh. And I was like, yeah, I'm not joking. I know I joke around a lot, but like, can you get me back to my hotel? They have a nice big oxygen tank in the lobby. One thing I love the most about Cusco, they have oxygen tanks in the lobby. It's true story. True story. So, golden crown in reverse. You're not allowing yourself to receive the messages from soul. That card has come out so many times. What is going on that you are not allowing yourself to receive messages from soul? What is this about? Do you want me to shake you? It's just a little. Get you, I don't know, maybe something's out of place. Shake you just a little. Shake you like a shake weight so that it'll fall back into place. You need to let the messages come through. Oh, wait. What's Lotto at? Mm, Lotto. What? What is it? Mega Millions, right? What is it at? What is it at? Okay, it's at $720 million. So someone didn't win the billion. Or is it, that's the other one, Mega Millions? I don't remember. I don't remember. Maybe it's time for you to play the lotto. Maybe it's time. Oh, Powerball. Thank you, Tina. Clearly, I don't play this stuff. Let's see. What's Powerball at? All right, it's at 20 million. Okay. So maybe someone from California won the billion. I bet you it's an NPC. I'm joking. I bet you. No, I think you need to allow it, those messages. I think you need to allow it to do what it's doing, which is guiding you, right? Guiding you into this space of really, really knowing, really, really allowing yourself to know that you are guided, that you are protected, that you are loved. Part of being unstoppable is tapping into that trust in your soul, trust in the guidance of soul, right? So, Mirrored souls. What's going on here? So we have this card. Then we have this card. Michael says, without looking, pick up this deck. Stop. Okay. You're drawing something serious to you. You know? You are drawing something very, very serious to you. It's something that's aligned because they're face to face. It's about coming face to face. They're face to face. And then at the bottom of the deck, they're face to face, right? It's about facing the thing that you fear the most. So there's this huge part of you that's been unwilling to walk your truth. Why? Why are you so unwilling to walk your truth? There's something going on that's blocking. Sometimes hope is good, right? But oftentimes hope can be something that can block a lot of the goodness from coming in. I know you guys are probably like, what? Hope? Block the goodness? Yeah, I said what I said. The reason I'm saying that hope can block the goodness sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, is because when we hope in a way that disempowers us, meaning our hope that we are holding on to is very deeply rooted in someone coming to save us from a circumstance that we are supposed to save ourselves from, that hope will begin to block your pathway. You will not walk past it because you'll be like, no, someone's going to come and save me. That's not always what happens. And that is how hope can kind of begin to block some of the blessings and the growth. A lot of the hope and the faith that we are taught to have as members of society, as members of religious communities and whatnot, it involves some magical, celestial, divine intercessor who comes in on our behalf and fixes everything. And if we don't get that, then we're somehow horrible. That's not true. That's not true. Oftentimes, what's happening is you're being put in a situation, made to experience a situation that will help you become the source of your hope. Help you be the one that creates that moment of perceived salvation for yourself, right? So there's two classes of thought here, two approaches that are going to be taken. One involves the hope that someone else is going to come in and save you from things. The other involves the shadow self, where this is you, this is your power, the parts of you that you're afraid of, the parts of you that are willing to speak up for you. You know? So then it becomes a thing of like, which one are you going to choose? Because you're still going to need to choose something, you know? Someone says hope doesn't get you what you want. I can't disagree with that. I can't disagree with that because, you know, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think the best thing to do is shine a light on which option you're considering and see if that option glows with truth, glows with the potentiality that your soul is asking you to seek out, right? That's some of the ways that I decide things for myself. I'll allow this internal light to shine brightly on the options. And the one that's the most perfectly aligned with what soul has in plan for me usually will glow brighter for me as I'm trying to visualize these different pathways that head out. That's a really good exercise to try for yourself. Um, really using discernment as well, right? Discernment, whenever you attempt any type of spiritual process, practice, technique, discernment is crucial, crucial, crucial. Absolutely crucial. Okay. Discernment is about you taking responsibility for your life and your journey, you making informed decisions, not just falling victim or prey to the whims of others, to the games of demonic things. You have to also allow yourself to be still. You have to allow yourself to shine and be still and then observe what's being worked on right now. It transcends this human existence. It goes straight into the potentiality of you and what you are here, your divine purpose, what you are here to accomplish on behalf of the collective whole. There's at least two journeys that you're on. For most of us, it's more than just two journeys, but there are two primary journeys that you are on in every lifetime. The first journey is in service to the collective whole and the furthering of the development of the human consciousness and the development of our awareness, the expansion of that awareness. The second journey is a more personal journey where you are accountable for the ways in which you grow, meaning you are responsible for either allowing or disallowing the distortions that others can and often try and pressure inject into your life. Okay. So you're responsible for that. Okay. Your soul is requesting you to take a good hard look and see the ways in which you are potentially self-sabotaging, right? I don't think anyone consciously chooses to self-sabotage. I don't think anyone is like, oh, that would be awesome. I want to sabotage myself. I think sometimes for some people, um, when things are too quiet and too peaceful, it becomes a very uncomfortable experience. And you're like, what's going to happen? There's no drama. This is scary. Let me just initiate drama so that I can return back into my space of comfort because drama is comfortable to me. Ooh, stress is comfortable for me. So whatever I'm saying right now, I don't know what I just said, but whatever I just said is something super important for my laptop to be like, da 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 ding. That means you need to listen to that. If you are someone who, when you look back at your life, you realize, like, oh shit, I've been the one that's initiated all of this drama. Like, I didn't even realize. I didn't realize. Well, it's okay. Those are done already. Just make sure you don't continue doing that. Right. That's a very powerful thing that sometimes we'll enter into a space of self sabotage because we are choosing on some level of consciousness to continue the known path, which is a path of drama, sabotage, pain, struggle, all of that, rather than the discomfort we feel not knowing what's going to happen next. Right. So, card number 54, Endarin activation. You are being given access to extremely high potentiality. So, it's the 20th. Very soon, I'm going to go ahead and put up the listing for the 888 portal. This is one of the most powerful portals of the year. The Lionsgate portal is a very profound portal. It's the coming together of all of your pieces. It's that opportunity for you to have convergence and symposium with all of your parts so that you can begin to make a very tangibly felt, very carefully created plan of action to get you to the next part. And what's the next part? An elevated part, right? So during this period, you're being asked to tap into your intuition. That intuition is going to serve as a clarifier. For those of us who have not allowed ourselves to listen to those intuitive messages that are being delivered by soul, don't betray yourself like that again. Do not betray yourself like that again. Okay? Trust yourself. It's very easy to forget how to trust yourself, but it's so necessary. It's so needed. It is so needed. I remember one time, I lived in Vegas for a little bit. And one time, I went to the casino. I went to the casino and I gave myself this budget of what I would allow myself to gamble. And it was a healthy budget. It was a healthy budget. And then I went ahead and I got my debit card out of my wallet and decided to make it a morbidly obese budget at the casino. And by the time I was down to like my last $20 from this ridiculous amount that I had taken out of my account, I was like, listen, you fucking machine. I'm going to hit a jackpot. I'm going to hit a jackpot. You're going to give me back all of my money, or there's going to be a problem. And what ended up happening there is that I was supposed to put the maximum bet on that slot machine. And I felt like I had generated enough energy to positively influence the outcome. It's hard for me to do that for myself. It's difficult. It's damn near impossible. It's difficult. So I thought I had aligned myself with a specific outcome enough that it would lead to a beneficial experience at the end, that I would win all of my money back plus a lot. Except I betrayed myself by not listening to myself. What does that mean? Well, I wanted to win all of my money back, plus I wanted to have way more in excess so I could go buy my husband very secretly a couple pairs of Jordans that were launching the next day. Yeah, I should have just bought him the fucking shoes, which would have been cheaper than what I played. But yeah, instead of putting the max bet, I only put one credit rather than the max bet, which would have times it by 3. And I felt like I betrayed myself because guess what? I did hit, but it didn't give me the jackpot because I only put 1 coin. It gave me back all my money, but it didn't give me enough to do what I wanted to do, why I went to the casino in the first place. I wanted to get him several pairs because he was a shoe collector at the time. I was so mad at myself. I felt like I totally betrayed myself because I knew it. I felt it. I felt it. I felt it. Another time at a different casino, I wanted to hit the progressive. I wanted to hit the progressive jackpot, which was like a couple $1,000,000. And I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Like really hyping myself up. And then right at the very last millisecond, I was like, oh, like I felt sick doing that. And all the reels came down. They were 3 reels spinning, and all 3 landed. And it took a second for my brain to understand what just happened. Because literally, so there's a pay line on that slot machine. It has to, each symbol has to be centered on the pay line to pay out, right? If it's not centered, it doesn't count. In that 1 millisecond of, I was able to get on the screen all of the symbols that would have won me a multi-million-dollar jackpot, except it was all 1 position too high. The bottom of it was touching the line for all 3 of them when it needed to be centered on the line. And I felt like I absolutely betrayed myself there. It's up to you if you're going to continue with the betrayal, right? Because before I press that button to get the reels to spin, I was already telling myself it's very important for me to believe this, to see it all the way through, to see it all the way through. But I didn't. I mean, how many times have you pulled back right as it's about to happen for you? How many times have you done that? And it doesn't even have to be at a casino. Like at this point, I don't want to go to any fucking casino. I just don't. Like, no, fuck that. I don't want to at all. I think for many of us, part of this betrayal of self comes from a dark interference. We allow the whispers of darkness that surrounds us, darkness that tries to infiltrate our field but cannot. We allow their whispers to carry weight, right? We allow their whispers to be the very thing that causes us to doubt ourselves, causes us to choose the options that take us nowhere near where we belong, options that prevent us from receiving the very things we need to receive. It's just, it's one of those things. Like that time when I was so close to winning that multi-million-dollar jackpot, like so fucking close. Um, I was homeless. I was homeless. I know what I would have done with that too. I would have probably bought a just run-of-the-mill RV, and then the rest, I'm sure I would have spent it on other people, helping other people. It is what it is. An opportunity learned. That's what it is. I got a chance to learn it, and that was years ago. And I still continued having to learn that lesson over and over and over again, right? Observe the ways in which you continue to repeat the lessons unnecessarily, the ways in which you just keep running like an adorable little hamster in your wheel, just round and round and round. You need more than that. I think we're at a point where all of us need more than that. I'm going to pull one final card. You're unstoppable. But here's the thing. If you think about it, if you are unstoppable and you keep running in the wrong direction, who is going to be able to stop you? If you are unstoppable and you keep choosing to betray yourself, who can stop you? If you are unstoppable and you continue to sabotage all of this hard work that you have put into the things you're trying to accomplish, who is going to stop you? You are. You are. Because you need to. part of your purpose. Ooh, this card. Card number 13, that feminine, that goddess energy, that power of creation, right? All right. Card number 13, arise. Wings of hope languish from lack of use. When wings dissipate and weaken, life begins to lose its value. Every cell in your body is created to rise to challenges. Your life is meant to confront everything that holds you captive. Don't sit at the bottom of the well, not caring about salvation. Listen to the voice within calling to you. Reach for eminence beyond your own maturity. I dance before you in sacred spectacle, hoping to garner your attention. Look at me, I cry to your ailing spirit and despondent flesh. Look at me. If you were to look up, you would see that I am a mirror of your own being, your light, your heart, your spirit, your all. Yes, there is pain. Yes, there is a letting go taking place, and you're frightened and uncertain sometimes. But you make this mean something that it does not. It means that you are to turn your head away from what is dying. Do this gently but firmly. Turn your head towards what is living. Look at me. I will show you truth, and you shall laugh your deepest belly laughter with so much glee, sharing in my secret that the only force at work in your life is unconditionally loving divinity. I see you in a divine wild child and sacred heart. You have gumption, chutzpah, and guts. You dare to love where others only see pain. You dare to believe that everything will somehow work out where others see only what they judge to be wrong. You see love where others ply fear. You seek freedom where the world still buys into manipulation and propaganda. Don't lose heart, beloved wild child. Dare to believe. You are right to do so. It is a divine rebel in you that refuses to surrender hope. Give up the fight, perhaps, the battle that comes from a place of fear, but never give up your hope. The hope in your heart, that optimism and patience for growth into love, creates a light within you that helps the world see through darkness. It becomes a candle that shimmers contently upon the windowsill of your heart temple. There it is, more obvious even in darkness. The stars do appear to shine brighter at night, beloved, but don't become consumed by your nightmares. They will pass with the coming dawn. You'll see. Don't give them too much stock. Instead, put your attention towards that defiant candle of hope that burns, as is its nature and purpose within you. Can you sense its warmth, even in the presence of cold fear? It shall warm you now, and if not, then I come to remind you, you are a blazing angel. You're filled with holy fire, and you shall prevail. Oh, the joy of you, the expanse of you. You fill my own heart with your magnificent essence. I see and know the great beloved in you. There the great beloved is, looking out at me from behind your eyes. I see the candlelight of your heart temple flicker within your gaze. That is what the candle of hope honors. The workings of the great beloved, so creative and crazed with love for you, that all circumstances of your life, down to the tiniest detail, are evoked out of love. Love out of passionate desire takes you from despair into hope, from holding on to letting go, from turning away to opening up. So the great beloved takes you across the moonlit ocean into the temple of the cosmic heart. Here, an eternal flame burns bright with hope, igniting the light within the hearts of all of humanity. You're being asked to trust, to gently lay to rest the suffering that has been, perhaps because of what you have labeled as the failure, the doubt, the losses and setbacks. And for some, you've even labeled it as heartbreak. They are so little in the greater scheme of you. Put them aside. Allow them to rot and become fertilizer for life, but do not try to keep them alive beyond their earthly expiry date, lest you become tainted or poisoned by the rot. Let them go and instead focus on what is alive now. Can you sense that before you is a great being of light, a greater pathway opening up? A new pathway for you to enter into a new life, a new way of being, a new potentiality, a new realization of what you are capable of and what you deserve is being opened up. It's being opened up for you. This is truth, blazing angel. This is truth. Take the step. So easy it is when the light of the heart is felt within, reminding you of your own divine nature. The world is here for you to experience so that you may realize divinity in its majesty, mystery, and love, more so than ever. All serves that sacred purpose, so embrace it. Find your faith, be at peace. Know that no matter what appears to be, all is actually well. You are so loved, it cannot even begin to be translated sufficiently into words, but it can be transmitted from my heart to yours. Just as the sun catches dried tinder and sets it aflame, this oracle comes with a message for you. Arise. You have been downtrodden for long enough now. Perhaps you've been feeling defeated, put upon, underestimated, or walked over in mind, body, or spirit by others or your own doubts and fears. Enough now. You are liberated through the hope in your heart, the defiant optimism that buoys your spirit and demands that you shall have your dawn. You shall rise like the sun and begin anew now. Step up. It's your time. I love that. I love that. Mm, 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 mm. Mm-hmm. I love that so much. It's your time. And what you do with this time that you are given, it's your decision. I would hope, a hope beyond all other hopes, that what you do with this time will not just benefit others, but first and primarily, most importantly, also benefit you and your healing, benefit your journey back to yourself, benefit you in the process of rediscovering the parts of you that you are in this life to gift to the world. There's so much about you that you don't know yet. Learn it. Learn about yourself. You know what I'm going to do? Tomorrow morning, rather than do a reading, I'm going to be doing personal readings and scans and expedites. I feel like the potentiality needs to really, really be taken advantage of right now. It needs to be explored. It needs to be expanded. It needs to be something that will really encourage you to go even further down your path. I mean, it's more than just you deserving it, right? Because sometimes it's like, oh, I deserve it. Yeah, you know that. You know you deserve it. You need it. There is a need that has not been answered by you. You are needing something that, because you have ignored this need, this energetic, emotional, spiritual need for so long, you've forgotten how to do it. So I'm going to pick some different expedites. Um, and then I'll go live tomorrow, probably around 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll create the link as soon as this live is done. And I'll be doing that. They're going to be not so intense activations, things that are necessary for this period that's leading up to the 8-8 portal. We're needing to prime. We're really, really needing to prime, get everything aligned. So when that portal finally is upon us, you can really take advantage of what is being allotted to you by creation itself. You guys, I have a very specific skill set. And my skill set, I don't really like to talk about it and really fully disclose the type of effects it has on someone's in real life experiences and opportunities. I don't. I don't know why. I feel like the most potent experiences is something that should just be an intimate thing shared between the people who were part of that experience, right? The reality is this: if you are open to finally experiencing a different type of life, to finally receiving the types of things that your soul has been planning for you, my very specific skill set is highly, highly capable of assisting you in your efforts to bring that to fruition. It is not uncommon for me to have worked with someone, and the work that I've been doing with them is giving them the clarity that they can't gain on their own for some reason. Um, Clarity on what to do next, like the next step for business, for friendships, for life. It's not uncommon when they are really willing to receive from soul the messages their soul is giving me to give to them, that their life becomes completely changed. Like completely changed. Health completely changed. Relationship completely changed. Business prospects completely changed. Beneficially. But these are decisions you have to make. I can only give you the information so that you have the opportunity to make a very informed decision for yourself on behalf of yourself. What are you going to do? Are you going to do it? You're going to let yourself start choosing the things that will help you to heal? I think for many of us, we don't. I think for many of us, what we do is we choose things that will give us the sense that we are starting the healing process, but knowing deep down inside, we have no intentions of continuing down that path, that we're not going to allow ourselves to heal. We're going to continue to punish ourselves, right? There's nothing you need to be punished for. I know. You're going to tell me all these things about how, well, I've done wrong. I've this, I've that. I don't care. Those events are done. And the fact that you can say what you've done and have remorse, feel that guilt and that shame about how that decision, that action was less than the truth of who you are and the gravity of you. I don't care about that anymore. I'm more focused on, what will you choose now that you've learned that you shouldn't do that you should have chosen a different option, because the one you chose, the option that you chose, really affected and distorted the way you see yourself. What are you going to choose now? Make it something beautiful. Make it something powerful. Make it something that not only changes your life for the benefit, but changes the life of everyone around you in a beneficial way. That's always my goal. That's always my goal. anything I do can't just benefit me and my family. It needs to benefit more than just me. And when I set that goal of achieving this or that, knowing that it's going to benefit more than just me, I tend to be much more successful in my efforts. And maybe that's all you need to do. Allow yourself to achieve a greatness that already lives inside you, and giving yourself permission by way of knowing whatever benefits you will also be used to benefit others. Not giving it all away, but sharing. One of the most beautiful things I learned from my mother, and this is the last thing I'll share with you guys, okay, for this video. One of the most beautiful things that I learned so deeply from my mother, she used to love to go to the casino. It's just crazy with how much she would gamble. She would only ever play slot machines, right? But anytime she hit she won a good amount, everyone who was on the trip with her, and they would go often, everyone who was present, immediately she'd have a fat stack of hundreds, 100 for you, 100 for you, 100 for you. And then when she gets home, she gives her kids, whoever's home, and she gets home, you got that Benji too. And I remember one time, I was already irritated because we had been in the casino for so long. She had won something like $1,000, right? So that's 10 hundreds. She had won maybe like $1,000. There was maybe 9 people there with her. And she's like, oh, we're so and so. I need to give them, she calls it balato, right? I need to give them their balato. And I was like, Mom, because I was so irritated. I want to go to the room and sleep. It's like 4 a.m. We've been gambling all night. I just want to sleep. You have the key. And every time I would ask her if I could just go to the room, she goes, oh, just wait for me. I'm almost done. I'm like, that's why I was so irritated. And I was like, Mom, you only won $1,000. Like, there's nothing left. There's nothing left. She goes, hey, don't be greedy. No, she said, hey, don't be selfish. I was like, how is that selfish? There's nothing left for you. And you know what she said? The reason God gives me so much is because I'm not afraid of not having anything. If you live your life like that, God will always give to you. She was super religious. And I was like, okay, well, will God give me the room key? Will God give me the room? And she got so mad. She got so mad. But that stuck with me. That really, really stuck with me. It stuck with me to the degree that when I was like 21, I was 21. I was gambling with her. We had slot machines side by side, and we were playing Wheel of Fortune. I love that slot machine. We were playing Wheel of Fortune, and we both hit the max jackpot, which was something like 5 grand. Like, really, within minutes of each other, we both hit the 5 grand. We both, the wheel above you spins. We both landed on the 1,000. We were just like, we were both drunk at that point because it kept coming around and giving us complimentary drinks. And, it stuck with me so much that what I did with that money, it was Christmas time, like maybe a week or 2 before Christmas. It was Christmas time. I had already used up all of my paycheck to buy everyone in the family like a modest gift. And I spent that entire, like, I don't know, $6,000 to $7,000. And I took my little self to Nordstrom's and Neiman's, and I bought everyone something bougie. I ended up with maybe $50 for myself. And it was the most amazing Christmas ever. And it was to the point where my family was like, how are you buying all of these gifts? These are expensive things. I was like, don't worry about it, you know? And it was just this thing of the value of what I won was well beyond the value of the money. Because every single time that I saw my family members wearing the things that I had got for them, it just brought me back to that moment where I was like, I was able to get you something really bougie. And I loved it. I loved it. You know, like one of my siblings would wear that thing that I got him. I mean, he would wear it constantly. I don't think his girlfriend who arrived after that, um, they started dating after that. She didn't know who gave him the stuff. And she's like, oh my God, I hate that sweater. He wears it all the time. I hate it. I buy him clothes and he never wears what I buy him. He keeps wearing that weird sweater. And I just didn't say anything. I know my brother's taste. He likes weird shit. It's bushy weird. So it made me feel like, because, our schedules are different. And it made me feel like, oh, he doesn't just wear it around me. He literally wears it all the time. It was like a whole year, maybe even 2 years before she got rid of it just to stop him from wearing it. What a hater ass move. If he likes it, fucking leave him alone. Let him wear it. Shit. But that was every time I would see him wear it, I would be brought back to that Christmas Eve when we were all opening presents and everyone was like, wait, who gave this to me? How the hell did you buy this? Right? Where it wasn't that I was flexing money, it was that they felt so much value in what I had given them. Because what happened was they didn't know the designer names, right? Your girl used to be bougie AF. They didn't know these design houses. And my oldest brother did. And he's like, oh, what'd you get? And he's like, oh, holy shit. You know how much that costs? Because he likes bougie shit. And so he was telling everyone, like, holy shit, that costs this and that costs that. And I was like, what are you doing? And that's when they were like, wait, who gave this to me? And then they realized it was me. But they were loving it before they even knew the price. So that carried with me. And that's why I know whenever I have, other people should have too. And I have no fear of giving, even when I don't have much to give. I have no fear of not having enough for myself because as much as I give, that's how much I get back in return. And no, I don't give to get back in return. It often comes from a different source, right? I just have this undeniable, unstoppable belief and knowing everything I need will be taken care of when it needs to be taken care of. I'm not afraid. I will never be without the things I actually need. So for me to be able to share, no problem. It is no problem at all. If I have, we have. And that's not an act. That's not a line I just say to sound good. That's the reality of who I am. And that's one of the most beautiful things that I learned from my mother. People will teach you things amazing about yourself in moments where you're too tired to understand the gravity of what you're learning. Learn it anyways. Take it in, integrate it into yourself, into your identity. If it is something that turns you into an even greater version of who you already are. You are fucking unstoppable, Boocakes. Keep going. Keep going. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be doing expedites. I'm going to get the link ready. You'll be able to see it on all social media platforms of mine so that you can see what the expedites available for tomorrow will be. I will see you guys in the morning. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everyone.